The number one mistake I see engineers make on their resume, they don't tailor it. Period. You send me a generic resume, I put it at the generic pile, which is usually at the bottom. And here's the thing, most of you don't even realize you're doing it. You think, I'll just list my skills and experiences, and that should be enough. But it's not. If your resume isn't aligned to the specific job you're applying for, it is invisible. Welcome to Engineer Your Career. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and turn on notifications. So, what does not tailoring actually look like? It's when you create one version of your resume and blast it everywhere. Same bullets, same skill list, same summary. Maybe you tweak one or two lines, but it's still generic. Here's an example I see constantly. Responsible for testing systems. That bullet could be anyone. It could be a junior test engineer at NASA, quality inspector in a factory, or a co-op who spent the summer pushing buttons on a test stand. It tells me nothing about you, and it definitely doesn't connect to the role you're applying for. Another classic. Worked with cross-functional teams. Okay, doing what? Did you lead? Did you coordinate? Did you solve conflicts? Or did you just sit in meetings and listen? Without detail, it's just filler. Generic resumes are full of filler. It's like white noise. Words on a page that don't help me decide if you're the right fit. And here's the reality. I don't have time to decode what you mean. I have 50 other resumes on my desk. The ones that clearly match are the ones I'm going to look at. The rest, straight to the bottom. Now let's talk about why this matters so much. As a hiring manager, I already gave you the script. It's called the job description. That document isn't just busy work from HR. It's me telling you, in plain language, the problems I need solved. If the description says experience with propulsion system integration, and your resume just says worked on propulsion systems, that's a miss. What I need to see is integrated propulsion and avionics hardware for static fire tests, coordinating 3 subsystems to validate thrust vector control. That's the difference between a vague task and a tailored, results-driven bullet that matches what I asked for. Every job description is a problem statement. If it says project leadership, my problem is I need someone who can herd cats, hit deadlines, and keep budgets in line. If it says thermal analysis, my problem is I need someone who can run models, spot risks, and make sure my hardware doesn't melt down. If your resume doesn't prove you solved these exact problems before, why should I believe you'll solve them now? Think of it like an exam. The professor hands you a study guide with the exact 10 questions that'll be on the test. If you walk in and write 10 brilliant answers to totally different questions, you still fail. Why? Because you didn't answer what was asked. Same thing with resumes. You can be the best engineer in the room, but if your resume doesn't connect your experience to my problem statement, I'll never know. I'll move on to the candidate who made the match obvious. Here's where most engineers push back. I hear the same excuses. Tailoring takes too long. I don't have time to rewrite my resume for every job. My experience should speak for itself. And you see these repeated online by people who've never actually hired anyone. I've reviewed hundreds, maybe 1,000 resumes and hired dozens of engineers, from new grads to senior staff. Here's how I look at it. I have a need on my team. I know exactly what I need in skills, education, and experience. So I write the job requisition to highlight that. Then I evaluate applicants against those needs. I'm a little different than most hiring managers because I'll actually read every resume that comes into my rec. But you better make it worth my time. In the last 2 months alone, I've seen more than a dozen resumes over 5 pages long from people with less than 10 years of experience. At that point, I skim. I don't have time to dig through 6 pages of mostly irrelevant work history. I'd rather see a tight 1-page resume that hits the point on the job description. The job description that I wrote. I wrote that job description for a reason. Tell me how you meet those requirements. And yet, you'll find posts claiming, tailoring your resume for every single job is one of the lowest ROI activities you can do. I don't have time to tailor my resume. Or the blog, stop tailoring your resume for every job. Do this instead. Let me be blunt. That's lazy advice. Those people want clicks, not hires. I've reviewed thousands of resumes. Generic ones blur together. Tailored ones stand out instantly. Excuse number 1. Tailoring takes too long. Wrong. Tailoring doesn't mean rewriting from scratch. It means moving the right bullets to the top, phrasing them in the job's language, and trimming irrelevant fluff. Excuse number 2. I don't have time. You'll spend hours applying to 100 jobs. Spend 20 minutes tailoring 5, and you'll actually get interviews. Excuse number 3. My experience should speak for itself. Well, resumes don't speak. They need translation. I've had brilliant engineers ignored because a resume was a duty list. Meanwhile, someone less experienced but aligned with the job description got the call. Tailoring works. Ignoring it because someone online said otherwise, career sabotage. So how do you fix it? Let's walk through a real example. Step 1. Read the job description like it's the exam. Highlight the skills, tools, and outcomes they care about. Step 2. Match the language, honestly. If your background is in mining and the job is in aerospace, don't pretend you built rockets. You focus on the engineering principles that transfer. Design for reliability, maintainability, and efficiency. Let's look at a real example. Designed, iterated, and fabricated a fixture to streamline maintenance of heavy mining equipment, building on prior designs to improve cleaning efficiency and reduce downtime. Now that looks polished, but it's not tailored. It tells me what you did, not why it matters to my job. Now, let's tailor it truthfully. Suppose you're applying for a mechanical design engineer role in aerospace. Here's that same job, tailored for an aerospace position. Apply design for maintainability and iterative prototyping principles to develop mechanical systems that improve serviceability and reduce turnaround time by 20%. You didn't make up rocket work. You reframed your actual work in transferable engineering terms. Now, for a manufacturing engineer role, the same background might read: designed and fabricated production tooling, applying continuous improvement methods to improve efficiency, resulting in a 20% reduction in touch labor hours. That's the essence of tailoring. Translation, not fiction. You're showing me how what you've already done applies directly to what I need done. Step 3, prioritize. Bring the most relevant bullets to the top for each application. Tailoring isn't about keyword stuffing or rewriting history. It's about clarity. You're helping the hiring manager immediately see the overlap between your real experience and their real problem. So let's recap. The number one mistake engineers make is not tailoring their resume. They create one generic version, blast it everywhere, and wonder why they're not getting calls. The fix is simple. Read the job description like it's the exam, highlight what matters, and show how your actual experience transfers. Forget gimmicks, forget ATS myths, forget buzzword soup. None of that gets you hired. What does is proving that your real engineering work solves the same kinds of problems I'm hiring for. So, if you want blunt, no fluff feedback on your resume, there's a link in the description where you can submit yours. I may even feature it in a future critique. And if you found this useful, subscribe, because I'll keep cutting through the fluff and telling you the truth from a hiring manager who's reviewed thousands of engineering resumes.